I'm in the College of Arts and Sciences studying politics and SCA, and I'm a junior. Definitely, first and foremost, Jewish Voice for Peace is a club with which I've been working on a lot this year. It's actually new. We started up this year after a long path of trials and tribulations, being shut out from some spaces and being welcomed in others. And after that long road, we are finally a club this year. So we're creating a space for leftist Jews to do Palestinian solidarity work and kind of go against the mainstream of our community. And I would say that that's where I've focused a lot of my attention this year, but I also do work in the Student Senators Council. I'm a senator at large for Jewish students, students with eating disorders, and activist communities. And that's been a really rewarding experience because I've done a lot of work on campus outside of the institution, and now I see different avenues that change can be enacted from within. But outside of the institution, I've also done a lot with the Student Labor Action Movement and Students for Justice in Palestine. I've been involved with both of those since my freshman year, and those have really helped me orient myself in the activist community at NYU and taught me a lot about organizing and solidarity. So those, and then I also am co-director of the editorial committee of the Politics Society, and I also report for WNYU, the campus radio station. So this is a hard question because I am busy and I realize I do a lot, but I'd never consider myself a leader because the way that I work with others isn't, you know, a leader telling other people what to do or a leader dictating tasks. Most of the work I do is non-hierarchical, especially in my activist communities. So I would say that I don't consider myself a leader. I consider myself part of the team, a member, somebody who works with others on the same level as others, because leadership structures, I think, sometimes aren't the best way to get meaningful work done. Another good question. I don't know, because in the same way I've never thought of myself as influential. I don't do what I do to be influential. I want to influence others, but I don't want them to look at me as the influencer, but rather look at the ideas as what's influential. So for instance, with Jewish Voice for Peace, I don't want people to say, oh, look at Rose, she is influencing us to be more pro-Palestine. I don't want that to be the narrative at all. I want it to be, look at what's happening in this part of the world, what can we do for these people who are suffering right now. So I want that to be more of the narrative. So I guess I haven't thought of myself as influential. I'm more about having people think about ideas rather than think about me. I like to be behind the scenes in the work I do most of the time. So I think at NYU, some of the other student organizers have been so influential. I am just shocked at the student labor that keeps this university running, whether it come from NYU Sanctuary Coalition, or GCOMS, or the Student Senate Council, or all of the other organizations that provide spaces for students on campus. Like, those people who make those spaces exist when the university fails to do so are the people who really inspire me to do the same for my own communities. Because every day I look at what they're doing and I am just really inspired and shocked that they're able to exist as students and also do all of this extra work. It's really amazing. So those are people who I think have been most influential for me at college in the past 3 years I've had at NYU. But then in terms of what has influenced me to do what I do, I think it's obvious I'm Jewish, and I come from Holocaust. Actually, no, let me rephrase. My dad's parents are the only people in his family who survived the Holocaust. Everybody else was left in Poland and nobody made it out. And I think that trauma that my family experienced and still experiences, and those injustices inspire me to do what I do. I can't not care about the liberation of other people, because if you only focus on your own liberation, then nobody will ever be free. So I think a lot of the trauma that exists in my family is what motivates me to do what I do, not just for my own community, but also to work in solidarity with other communities who are fighting for their liberation and leading that fight. What's next for me? Well, like materially, what's next for me? I'm going to work for an organization in Israel this summer as a Gallatin Human Rights Fellow. It's called Zochrot. They do awareness of the Palestinian refugee crisis of 1947 to 1949, known as the Nakba. So that's something that's in the future that I'm looking forward to. I have family in Israel, everybody's still there, and I think it's going to be really great to kind of see both of my identities come together in that space. So that's what's next for me coming this summer, but what's next for me in general, I really don't know. I think we were talking about this. I came into college wanting to go into American politics. I did 4 federal internships, I worked on city politics, I did Nevada politics, where I'm from, and I think I've realized that those structures are where I fit well. So now I think rather than trying to plan ahead, I'm kind of just doing everything. Like, don't think, do. That has been a saying that has really defined these past few years for me. So I'm just doing everything, and I'm going to see what sticks. But rather than planning ahead and working towards one goal, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing.